What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Collector's Outpost. I am John. So today we're taking a look at a character that has popped up in Star Wars quite a few times. This is Depa Billaba. She's on the Jedi Council and she studied under Mace Windu. And then she takes in Caleb Dume. Now, you may know Caleb as Kanan Jarrus, who then takes on Ezra Bridger, who then kind of passes his lightsaber on over to Sabine. That kind of bloodline is kind of going deep there, because you can trace, let's say, Sabine all the way back to Mace Windu. I want to thank Vaders Sabers for sending this over for everybody to check out. I will put a discount and direct link down in the description for you. And before we dig into this, if you are new here, please drop down and hit that like, subscribe, and notification button for upcoming videos. All of that will help this channel grow and let YouTube know that I'm making some content that all you all want to see. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for hanging out. Let's get into this unboxing. So here we go. I actually really dig this lightsaber, and it's mostly because it's very streamlined. It's got some really cool detail. Not that it's a lot of detail, but we got like this rib cage over here. We've got this little button over here that doesn't do anything. It's just kind of decorative. Then we've got this little nub in there. And then we've got these gold ribs on top here. Now, what I like about this is that this really could be sharp edges, you know, all around the ribs and around the buttons, and especially around this little non-switchy switch thing over here. And I am happy to report that there is nothing on this that is sharp. This is super, super smooth. I was thinking that I was gonna have some problems, that these edges would be like razors, and they're not. They're all smoothed down. There's nothing here, especially this. A lot of these stupid little control boxes, they've cut right into my hands. This is super smooth. There's no sharp edges or points on that. Again, it's not a button and it does not do anything. All right, let's see what else we got here. We have your typical USB-C charging cable. We have an Allen wrench and our retention screws right there. Then we have our blade plug, and I'm actually going to show you another blade plug that's a better option, I feel. You may know that I do not like these turbine-y kind of blade plugs here, but if you go on to Vaders Saber's accessory page, I'll put a link for this down below as well, you can get one of these really cool, I don't know, like an engine turbine or an engine intake or whatever you want to call this. It's simple, but it's so effective. And I really, really like the way that looks in there. You know, you don't have anything poking out the top there. It's a simple design, and you can make it nice and flush right there. And I think that just looks amazing. Again, I will put a direct link for this down in the description. Then we have our manual, so you can learn how to use the board. This is an SNv4 board, and it is a single button. And in this little baggie, we have a plaque that says Depa Billaba. And once you put your display stand together, you can actually put the plaque right in the middle. There's a spot for it. However, I normally put them right on the side. There's actually a little beveled edge here, and there is an adhesive on the back of the plaque. All right, just like that. And you can see when you display it on your shelf, you'll have this facing out towards you rather than flat. I like this a lot more than putting it on the bottom there. Because let's say if you have it up on a shelf over here and the plaque's, you know, on the bottom, on the base, you can't see it. So, or at least like this, you'll be able to see the plaque. So kind of take that and just put it right on that beveled edge and you'll be perfect. And then of course, we have our pixel blade. This is, I believe, a 32-inch blade here. This is more of a heavy-duty blade, so it's a little bit heavier. Now, I want to show you another option. Also, if you go to their accessories page, you can pull up what is called a show blade, and that's what this is. This is super lightweight. You basically, I mean, this thing is like, you can just toss this around between your fingers. Now, this is not for dueling. This is a show blade, and they're super thin. They like weigh nothing. You know, so they're a little bit brighter because they're thinner, they have less diffusion, there's less of a wall that the light has to get through. All right, we're gonna put this on grams so I can kind of get a really accurate reading for you. Now, let's use the standard blade that comes with the package. So we're looking at 258 grams. Or 57 grams, so it just depends on where it's rolling. And then let's look at the show blade. We are looking at 117 grams. So you can see it is super light and really easy to just swing around. It's like a feather. It weighs nothing. So we're gonna use the show blade in this demo so you can take a peek at it. I think you're really gonna like having one of those around in your collection. Even if it's just one, if you go to cons or you wanna go to Galaxy's Edge or anything like that, and you wanna bring your lightsaber along with you, you want your load to be as light as possible.
That's what she said.
So having a nice show blade that's really lightweight is great. And you know what? Actually, talking about that, I actually have another accessory to show you. And you'll notice that lightsabers like this, some of them, and I'm noticing this a lot, some of them don't have any cover tech clips on here. They don't come with D-rings or anything. So how are you supposed to wear this on your belt if you're just poking around? Well, you can buy one of these, and on here actually has its own D-ring. So you could pop this on a hook on your belt and just kind of walk around the park like this, like a samurai sword, you know? And it's really cool because it actually has openings so you can see the blade through there. This thing is super cool, especially for anything that doesn't have cover tech clips or D-rings in them. So I'll also put a direct link for this in the description as well. It makes me feel like a samurai. I love it. So let me just show you where the chassis is here. It is fully removable. Just, whoop, thing's rolling away. You just want to take the pommel off. You have to dig in here a little bit. Grab it by... Now, I heard somebody say that the GHV3 is the most sensitive thing, like you just sneeze on it and it turns on and off. I'm barely doing anything and this thing's turning on and off, so I disagree with you greatly about the GHV3 being oversensitive, because you can sneeze on... See what I mean? See what I mean? Anyway, on the chassis here, we do have our USB-C port right there for charging. Our 18650 battery here, and I'm going to be very careful and turn it around, and we have our board and our SD card right there. Now this is one of those chassis that have these steps here. You can see that right here. We got the top and the bottom and the connectors on them. So it must be inserted correctly. Don't jam it in and start twisting it around and expect anybody to replace it because you've bent your pins, all right? Pay attention to what it's doing. You have the steps there, and check inside and see where it goes. So for this one, you're gonna face the battery upwards towards this little non-switchy switch thing here, all right? And you're gonna push that in lightly, lightly push it in. It's technology. They're tiny little metal pins. Don't twist it, don't jam it, don't push it too hard. You will break it, and you're gonna blame it on the company that something's wrong with it, but it was your fault. Be careful. All right, so let's take a look at the show blade and listen to some of the sound fonts and see how this SNv4 sounds. Nice sound. Not bad, very nice. Blaster blocks. We have twist on and twist off. I forgot this is a single button setup. I have no idea how to switch the fonts around. Again, we have an app that we can bang through all of this, but I just want to show you a couple basic settings on the hilt so you don't have to pull out the app all the time. Now, to switch through the fonts, we're going to hold this button. Now, it says here for 4 breathing things. It's basically flashes. If you had an indicator on here that had an LED light, it would basically flash 4 times. So we're going to have to count. All right, so let's say 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's how you change the fonts. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I am the Inquisitor.
The SNv4 just sound quality sounds better than the Xenopixel. And if this is anything like Xeno, probably everything else is exactly the same. It's actually the same thing with Xeno too, with the font changes. That's a 4 count. So on Xeno, the volume is a 1 count. So 1. Yeah. So I guarantee everything's exactly, if you have a Xeno, I guarantee all of this stuff is exactly like Xeno. So 1, mute, 1. Yeah, so it has 3 volume settings on the hilt, and then let's do a 2 count. 1, 2.
Ignition 2.
So that's the ignitions, and 3, 1, 2, 3. And that will be different blade styles and everything. So it's exactly the same as Xeno if you know how to use a Xeno. And then I'm assuming that if it's the same thing as Xeno, you can flip it upside down, hold the button, give a twist for color. All I'm doing is holding the button upside down and just giving a twist. Now we want to make sure that our Bluetooth is on, and then we're going to go over to the app Force Park. All right, it actually just auto-connected because I guess it was connected before, but it auto-connected. If you need to connect, you're basically going to hit the Bluetooth button down here, all right, and then you'll see your Saber show up. If it doesn't show up, you're going to hit Scan, and then it should show up, and then you want to click on Bind. Now you're going to go over to Controls, and you have, just like the Xeno app, you have full control over everything. I do like the Xeno app quite a bit better. There's more controls and there's more settings and everything in the Xeno. But this is pretty much the exact same thing as Xeno, but I do like the Xeno app quite a bit better. It has more control. You can update and everything from the app. I haven't seen an update anything on here yet. We've got our power. We've got our lockup effects. You can kind of audition everything. Let's change the color so you can see all the effects a bit better. So we're gonna go to palette. We're gonna go to red, and then we're gonna hit sure. All right, and then you can see everything a lot better on this color here. Now I'm gonna turn our volume down. The SNv4 is really loud and it's very clear. So I'm actually gonna keep that down at like 2. You have volumes from 1 to 10. So I'm gonna keep that down at 2 because it's actually quite loud. So again, we have our lockups, we have our tip drags, we have our blaster effects, we have our clash, we have our force effect. Over here, BGM is our background music, which I'm not gonna let play because I don't want to get copyright strikes for that. And then you have different color settings. You have smooth color, which will just kind of scroll through the colors and fade between them really slowly. And then next to that you have step color, which will just bang each color. And then of course over here you can control all of your sound fonts. We have 27 installed sound fonts here.
Tell me, is this training? My training? I am told it is the Dark Saber.
Now we have Depa over here. You actually have her font right there. And we have her blue blade here. Now over here you can actually adjust the different lighting effects too. We have this nice breathing effect, which is usually what I leave everything on. There is no real nice flicker effect, so I usually tend to go with the breathing effect here. Now you can change that effect right there under lighting effect or light effect.
Basic 2, Basic 3, Basic 4, Basic 5, Basic 6, Basic 7, Basic 8, Basic 9.
So you have 9 different effects there. I'm going to leave it on number 3, which is just the kind of breathing effect there. And then you have different ignition styles. So this is just the basic. All right, I'll show you a few more.
Ignition 2. Ignition 3. Ignition 4. Ignition 5.
Now there's 11 different ignitions. If you have a Xeno or you've seen Xeno videos on the channel, these are all basically all the same exact ignitions. Phaser ignitions and different things like that. We've seen all of these before. Now, this actually does have post effects. So when the blade turns off, you'll get different effects. So this is nothing. Let's go to And then set parameters here. Now this is actually very useful. So we have blade length. Now, blade length is very useful because you may have a 36-inch blade, you may have a 32, a 28-inch blade, or you may have one of these tiny little blades, which you could also get over at Vaders Sabers. Go into your blade settings here and set the correct blade length. That way all the effects and the tip drags and all that stuff sit in the right spot. If you don't, let's say go here, sure, and then power on, you can see that you can actually change everything. Now that's obviously too short, so you want to go back in here, you know, make that a little bit longer. All right, and there you go, you can see everything lights up. Now, if you want to change down into a blade like this, you just have to set everything different. So let me show you that. All right, so this is a 12-inch blade. It's kind of like a dagger style. So you're gonna want to adjust your blade down for that. Now, I don't exactly know, so that's too short. It doesn't do a live preview, so you have to just kind of know where it's gonna be. All right, so let's go with, what is that? I can't even see it, 45, 46. My eyes are shot, so I can't really see that. But I think it said 45 or 46. And when we hit our drag, we should be able to see the tip light up. Yep, see, there we go. Now, I'll show you that on red. That way you can really see that stand out more. So if your blade is set to the wrong length, you won't see the tip drag. Or if it's set to the wrong length, if you have a 36-inch blade and it's set to 32, you're gonna see a very dark spot over there. And I've got a lot of messages about that too. So you just have to make sure that you set your blade correctly. And then going down the side here, you have different settings for side blades if you have a Kylo Ren style. You have delays if you want the main blade and the side blades to come out, you know, at a different time, you can adjust that. Clash sensitivity, twist sensitivity. Now, twist sensitivity, you actually saw at the beginning of the video having some problems where it's just turning on by itself. So what we're gonna do is turn that way down. Let's try 2. Hit sure. Oh, see, much better. That's actually too much, so now it doesn't do anything. So let's kind of split the difference here. What was that? That was 2. Let's go to, let's try 5. Yeah, I think 5 is actually great because you have to give it a nice twist there. And if you just go like this, it's not doing anything. So I think 5, right in the middle there, is actually perfect for the twist setting. And then under that, we have our swing sensitivity. What that is if you swing your saber, it'll turn on. So it's more of the how sensitive do you want that. So let's do that again. Turn that all the way down to, put it on 2. All right, so you have to push a little harder. And then let's put that down to 0. So you can see nothing happens there. So let's turn that up to just 1, see what that's like. All right, you have to give that a good swing for that to turn on. And all the way up, basically you just have to tap it and it will go on. So that's just a preference thing. I would probably, for myself, leave that off. All right, everybody, this is the Depa Billaba Lightsaber. This is the SNv4. Thank you so much to Vaders Sabers for sending this over. Let me know what you think down below of this lightsaber and the super lightweight show blade. I will have a direct link for you to this blade down in the description, along with this little 1-foot size blade, in case you're interested in that as well. I'll put that down below. And don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and notification button for upcoming videos. I have a ton of lightsabers, figures, and collectibles coming up. Anyway, I'll see you all in the next video. Be safe and kind out there in the world. See ya.